would quickly alter the plan, and we just came in. And I know some people are maybe perhaps really feeling of, I'm a plan for this day, but the altering a plan, of course, causing a perhaps anger, but everybody seems like they're very happy, and I really appreciated that you can able to understand. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your peace with them. Thank you. Thank you. Today my topic will be staying in the realm of God's love. But before I like to talk about it, I'd just like to actually talk about a little bit of what's going on, what has been happening in the last couple of days or the last 2 weeks. As you know, the True Mother has been speaking since the starting of about July of last year. True Mother spoke at a Mass in School Garden, and I've been kind of always, I was being curious about what's happening, especially within America. There are a lot of things that happen surrounding Mother Moon's speech. I realized it since the day one of Mass in School Garden. Immediately, all this calamity, unprecedented calamity happened in San Francisco to hurricanes. Hits in Houston, Texas, to down on islands all the way to Central America. All this unprecedented event. Of course, unfortunate, but there was mass shooting happening right next to IPEC. Right next to IPEC. That was over 80-some people were killed at the casino, which I can literally walk from IPEC in 15 minutes walk. I used to jog right next to it, so I know exactly. And then of course between Mother Moon's speech in Japan and Korea, that was around October, November, explosion of discovery of the sex scandal. Many of the movie producers and many of the well-known TV anchors too. There were a lot of known people, but known unknown. Over 100 cases of sex abuse. Many of the women has been damaged, and now the rise of a Me Too movement. Anyway, some things are always happening surrounding Mother Moon's speech. January 18th this year, once again, right after her speech, what's happening in Korea was the first North Korean women hockey team joined together with South Korean women hockey team. And of course, Kim Jong-un's sister actually crossed the borderline, DMZ line, visited the South Korea, was a winner Olympic. And that was exactly at the time when she was speaking, North Korea Olympic, the hockey team decided to join together with South Korean Olympic team. I kind of look around, what's really happening? It's actually, seemingly nothing, unrelatable things, it's unrelatable. Nothing's really related, perhaps. But I look carefully. When your mother spoke about Africa will rise. 1 month later, February 15th, the starting actually was a movie, Black Panther, came out. Avengers, Infinity War. My goodness. It was like Star Wars, wasn't it? When the armies of the African, Wakanda, they have like a special kind of shield. And of course, Black Panther, they open up the shield, gate number 5. The monster came in. And with this incredible radar shield and all that high-tech weapons and fighting against this sort of almost vicious enemy from outside of space, Africa. And along with Avengers, now we see a united force of Avengers and DC, whatever. Everybody come together. This time, next movie is everybody's going to come together, fighting against the ultimate enemy. So anyway, it's going to be exciting. But all these things are happening around surrounding your mother. Now, here in Brazil, speech in Brazil are happening August 3rd through the 5th. And I listened to the news, I listened to our church announcement, It was Dr. Kim and Dr. Balcones together in front of the stadium where they had a big rally, and Dr. Balcom says, your mother says, God's message and direction coming from North America. God's direction and a message come from always flowing through North America. I thought it was very interesting. What does that mean? Is it direction coming from within a movement or outside a movement? It's both. Coming within, from within, but there was so much message with God coming from outside. Well, 5 days ago was an explosive announcement by the state, not a persecutor, judge, right, Judge Shapiro, mentioned about there was a systematic cover-up by the Catholic Church of more than 300 Catholic priests has been molesting the children, or more than 1,000, only within the Pennsylvania alone. But this is where it started. Pennsylvania started the cleansing or purification of our nations, our country, or entire world. Coming, God's message somehow speaking directions come from America. But that it was something that just simply be quiet about it. It has been 70 years of cover-up. 70 years. 70 years. Was not a 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 cases. Over 300 clergies in the Catholic Church. Actually, over 1,000 children. It is the ripple effect of 1,000 children only in Pennsylvania alone. Can you imagine? What about those states like Boston or other states where many of our Catholic churches reside currently today? Last 7 years, if 300 here in Pennsylvania, what about Boston? What about others? 400? 200? It's already has been Pope have to do something about it. It was already reported to the Pope that America, Judge Shapiro, and of course others, many of the victims are standing up today. The movement of sanctification was starting, and recovery of healing process, pain. These processes has to be started. As Mother Moon was speaking, it's happening within 9 days. It's undercover, but came up on the surface from Pennsylvania and everywhere. But this is not my topic today. I just want to let you know what's going on, what's been happening. It's been really happening everywhere. At the same time, when I was at the Thursday garden concert, I thought I was surrounded by this beautiful serenity of joy. I don't know what it was. I was sitting in the garden, listening to the music, and then I just felt overwhelming feeling of joy. I couldn't help but smile. People from a different, multiple race and culture were sitting, dancing together, and I just felt the spirit of, because that garden was right next to the original 13 families. You know, the graveyard of a founding father was right next to it. That land was actually occupied, was kept by the Quaker and Mennonites. The first anti-slavery documentations are written in American history was right around the corner, right behind the garden, where the the Mennonite church, where the document was written, was right next to the garden. I just felt like the rejoicing of the Spirit surrounding, and makes me feel rejoiced. I just have to tune myself into the joy. I can always go somewhere else. Hey, what the heck is this? Spirit, a little steamy here, wet. Oh, mosquito bites. I can't help this, man. I gotta get out of here. I mean, as soon as I felt that, maybe, then I'll be off-tuned from a radio wave of a high radio frequency of some of the spirits all around me, especially Heavenly Father spirits all around me. I can just step out of there, and I just feel like so complaining about what's going on outside, rather than to stay inside air-conditioned place. But anyway, I could feel the joy. Yesterday, also attended to 430 clergies from actually the first interfaith blessing was ever held. And that movement was bigger in such a large scale, 430 couples up. I saw Muslim, I see Jewish rabbi right there, and I saw Christian ministers all together. And what I have learned is the first time ever, I think Reverend Jenkins, Dr. Jenkins, basically proclaimed the 430 couple, you are from now on, you are the begotten sons and daughters of God. You are the true parents from now. That was my goodness, shocking announcement. You are the true parents from now. You are the sons and daughters, begotten sons and daughters of God. Oh, the wonderful blessed one. There are many singles too. There were many other couples and singles all lined up, but everyone received the message that you are the begotten daughter, you are the begotten son, and you are the sons and daughters. You are the true parents. Because of the true parents has proclaimed successfully, and they're able to open up a door to everybody to receive this incredible blessing. In front of 430 clergy, you said, put people all around different faith. So let's take a look at this video. First news. I just want you to read the news here first. Thank you.
Cover-up of Catholic priest sex abuses dating back decades. A grand jury in Pennsylvania just issued its report and found evidence of more than 300 predator priests, all accused of sexually abusing more than 1,000 child victims. And that's just the witnesses who came forward. CNN's Gene Casares joins me now. Gene, the Catholic Church has anticipated this report for weeks. Now that it's out, the details are incredibly disturbing.
Absolutely amazing. You know, Jay grand jurors say that the pattern by the clergy was pretty much the same. The philosophy was not to help children, but to avoid scandal. Grand jurors say in the report that, quote, avoiding scandal appears over and over again in the documents that were recovered, and they reviewed over 500,000 internal church documents. This 884-page report took 2 years. It was written by 23 Pennsylvania grand jurors who listened to testimony from dozens of witnesses and listened to those documents and read them, alleging child sex abuse in 6 dioceses in Pennsylvania. Credible allegations were found, as you say, against more than 300 priests. More than 1,000 child victims were identifiable, but it is truly believed that the numbers are in the thousands of victims. Most of the victims were boys, but girls were also victims. Some were teens, some were much younger. Some victims were manipulated with alcohol or pornography. The abuse is far too graphic to describe in detail, but here's just one example. A priest sexually assaulted a little girl as he was visiting her in the hospital after she had her tonsils out. Grand jurors found that church leaders in every part of the state preferred to protect the abusers and their institutions above all.
They wanted to cover up the cover. They sought to do the same thing that senior church leaders in the dioceses we investigated have done for decades. Bury the sexual abuse by priests upon children and cover it up forever.
And Jake, the report also describes a priest who quit after being the subject of many child abuse complaints, but he asked for and received, according to this report, a letter of recommendation for work at Disneyland.
And Gene, since so many of these cases are old and cannot be prosecuted, is anyone from the Catholic Church in Pennsylvania taking responsibility?
Well, actually, the grand jury has 2 presentments, as they call them in Pennsylvania, for 2 priests that are within the statute of limitations. But the grand jurors say they want to change laws because there were victims in their 80s that remember being sexually assaulted, and that's just too long ago for these priests, if they even would be allowed to be prosecuted.
All right, Gene Casares, thanks so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. You can just lights on out there. It's great. So this is what's going on right now. The surrounding around the Mother Moon speech, and really go through the sanctification, right? So anyway, the healing process that has to happen right now. And what ripple effect is incredible. So really, the families breaks down, the community breaks down because of this violation of the original and the principle of relationship of 3 blessings, really. Which I like to talk about But stay on the light here, and we are. Stay in the realm of God's love. It's actually my original topic, so let's move on to that. Stay on that topic right now. Okay, everybody? Okay, stay in the realm of God's love. Would you like to be in it? Would you like to stay in the realm of God's love? Right. So I just cannot be too idealistic about it, of course. You know, whenever I give the principle creations, we have to be talking about, I've been sharing, we've been discussing about the ideals we blessing. Okay? Here it is. If you take a look at divine principle, we'll study it. Here we are. God's intent human beings to earn ownership and become worthy to rule the creation as the creators in their own rights, just as God governed them as their creator. Once we fulfill our responsibility, we inherit God's creatorship and attaining dominion over all things, including angels. God provides us with the course through the realm of a direct dominion that we may attain this perfection. So here it is, worthy to rule the creation as a creator in their own right. So we really feel that it is my right. I feel like this is my authenticities. It's not something that I tell you or I don't want to be. I tell you you should or you must do. Or repeatedly you receive a message perhaps from your friend, maybe parents, I'm not sure, maybe all around will tell you that is, you have to do this. You must follow it. You have to. I mean, it's very important, of course, giving this advice as the children grow up. It's definitely important. It's a tell our children, don't do it, because this famous story when my son Cook and Noritaga was a little boy, we stayed over at the Reverend Jenkins' house for 40 days because his wife was, Mrs. Jenkins was in Korea, so we kind of trying to help to prepare meals and caretaking. And my son was running around actually, and he likes to, poke things, like using a fork, poke this fork into this electric socket, plug. Stick it in. See what's going on. See what's happening. But stick this fork into it. And I see a spark coming up. Reverend Jenkins was like screaming at him, "What are you doing? Don't kill yourself." That was a famous story. Every time when he sees us, he sees something. Oh, did you remember? You poke your fork into that electric socket so many times. I'm so glad you're not electric. It's important to tell them, don't do it. But don't do it for so many years, and it become habitual that we become so reactive. Don't do it. You shouldn't do it. You can't do that. You can't do this. But here it is. Earn ownership and become worthy to rule the creations created in their own rights. Feeling that I can command. I have an ability to command eventually, that I can pave my path. I can take my ownership. It's very important for the parents allowing children to have an ownership, to take as in their own rights, allowing their rights to decide, free will. Well, then what happened after that? What is the realm of God's direct dominion? And what is the purpose of human beings abide in the realm of direct dominion? When, at subject, owner, and object part unites the love of God to form a four-portion foundation and become one heart with God. In the realm of God's direct dominion, people will intensely experience God's heart within themselves. Here we are, when you are attaining a direct dominion, if you enter into direct dominion, we're supposed to intensely experiencing God's heart within ourselves. This week, is anybody, are you experiencing God's intense experience of love every single day? Please raise your hand. Me too, I can't raise my hand. I cannot. Perhaps I experienced that was on a Thursday night for 30 minutes, maybe. But barely hard to maintain this level of experiencing peace within myself. Soon as I get out of the garden, I began to think something else and began to struggle. It's very even difficult to maintain a 30 or 20 or 10 minutes of experiencing intensely God's love. But we all living in a time when yesterday's blessed psalm already proclaimed, you are the begotten sons and daughters of God. And you are truly a true parents. And this is where we're supposed to be right now. But what happened at this stage right here? This is something happened in this stage where we're supposed to, oftentimes, you and I have given the presentation that, we all supposed to receiving unconditional love from our parents. We've grown, share this unconditional love with others. Have we received unconditional love? My daughter, recently, as I was walking with one of my daughters, Cindy, and we were happy we're at the Valley Forge. It was a hot, sunny day. She and I were walking along. And she says, Daddy, people tell me, Sophia, how could you grow to be such a mature woman? With a bright joy and smiles. I mean, tell us. I don't know what to say, but suddenly, I kind of grown up through my brothers, sisters. My brothers took care of me. Oh, I see, okay. Where's your parents? She was telling me about it, Dad, I think my brother actually took care of me, raised me up. I mean, I was like kind of shocked here, really? When I wasn't in a picture, I didn't tell her that, when I was in a picture of how you raised you, I was literally grown and took care of by my brothers. Really? So, what about my wife and I have been always attending any events you had or graduations and all these things, the prom dance and all this birthday party celebrations. I didn't say that to her, but I felt like all these are forgotten. Sometimes the love language is different, perhaps. However, please, parent, if you will ever experience this moment, your children say you never loved me. Don't get upset. Please, don't get upset. When you face this challenge, because I've been challenged by maybe 2 children so far, you never loved me. But the best things we can do is don't get upset. Don't take personally, please. It's my big chunk of advice, which I received this advice from another person, and I learned a lot. Your children grown in the future will tell you, if they're really good one, the good one will tell you. I'm so glad to tell you that. They hide, they never say that, but they tell you honestly to your face, you'll never love me. That's good. I'm so glad that we raise our children who are willing to share their honest feeling in front of the parents. But at this moment, don't be like, what? I did. Now, don't ever get upset, but just smile. Oh, that's good. I'm glad you say that. I'm so glad you mentioned it. I was walking along a hot day at the Valley Forge. It has been a beautiful moment, but after that, I felt like, what did I do wrong? I didn't love her? I thought I did. I was there every moment of our life. But she just clearly told me, Daddy, I've been grown, I've been taking care of my brothers, but were you there with me? Yeah, I was there, I guess. But don't ever get upset. It's very important. So now, as we grow very hard, we haven't really received yet? Unconditional love? Yes, because we're living in a world where difficult to exercise unconditional love, because you grew up in a condition where, kind of surrounding, where it's very difficult to exercise sometimes. I don't blame our parents, but just surroundings. It's just because the parents' intention was always loving. But sometimes the loving sort of became a little bit, but that was good. I'm going to share with you a story of one lady, young lady. First marriage didn't work out. Husband had an issue with the gamble. So Gamanol, he's been participating in Gamanol meeting for people who have habits of addiction with a gamble. And it is sometimes as a wife, it feel like it's my responsibility to try to finish it, trying to stop, trying to fix the problem for him. Sorry, all these beautiful pictures I forgot to show you. Raising children. Thank you for the single mothers. That a mother has been raising your children. Praise God. I praise my sister. She's been successful raising her daughters and the 3 other kids he had. She has 5 children. Wow. Now she raised them all. And of course later she got married again. She remarried. But this is that Daddy, thank you for Dad has been raising wonderful kids, Daddy. And as we grow older, we want to feel happy, stay happy within a God's realm of love. We want it. But if ended up with many times we're facing a challenge and fights, and it's hard to say. I'm sorry. It's anger. It's really something that is not really personal. However, we are going through this sort of like pain. It has been accumulated throughout many years. Back to that sister, trying to fix his life. As I mentioned, we cannot fix our spouse. We cannot really fix our. It's a rule is according to Dr. Greg Bear from our book of the True Love. We cannot. One thing is, I cannot fix my spouse. So whether I will bear with it, or I just have to say goodbye, or I can change. 3 choices you have. Bear with that pain. Your spouse, for example, having a gamble issue, going to Gamanol meetings, all kinds of problems, but just bear with that pain. Bear with it. Try not to fix it, but bear with it. Or it's eat up my happiness. My joy has been just kind of tossed it out. I'm sorry, but I can't handle it. Like my sister, eventually she has to say goodbye to that marriage. Or I can change. There are 3 choices we have according to Dr. Bear. So eventually I was right at that. I was with it. I was full through it together with this young lady, sending husband to weekly Gamanol meetings, and she's trying to do her best to try to fix the situation, fix him, but more she tried, he resists. And she never learned, it's best to let him who he is. And he needs to fix it. I cannot be a crutch. I cannot be a doormat. I cannot be a crutch for him. I can always prepare a crutch for him. But he has to stand on his both feet. That's her courage, her love for him. Same thing, vice versa. Husband to the wife, wife to the husband. The same thing. I have learned. It has come from I was with the situation, and I have learned a lot. And of course, I listened to the person, husband. His life was not really his fault too, because he grew up in an environment where it was constantly parents are fighting over different issues. When I myself, this feeling of rage comes. I don't know if you can relate with me. When your spouse begin to use credit card. Even for $10. Every time. But my Miyuki-san is an excellent financial genius, as she is. However, because the way I grew up was not the principle applied, but how I grew up. I was watching my parents fighting over. My father was worried about my wife, my mom, buying stuff, a lot of stuff. Dishwasher, brand new dishwasher. Oh, Mom, brand new dishwasher, babe. Oh, you want the brand new vacuum cleaner, brand new this, and a brand new house. Without my father's permission, but she started mapping out. But everything she did was good for us, really. She said we need to move out of this city, move to the next city where we're going to build a new house. And she mapped out the blueprints, calling the contractors, and she did everything by herself. My father was not really there. It's like, okay, honey, we can just move out. We got to build a new house. Wait a minute, honey, you didn't ever discuss this plan. What about the dishwasher? I saw invoice of a new dishwasher. My mom was just outgoing. When she says she will do it, she does it. But the thing is, nothing wrong with that. She was doing it for happiness of the children. So as my dad was trying to keep his finance in peace, maintain his financial stability. So he's trying to do the best he can. So both are getting in a fight, always over what to buy, and don't buy this and don't buy that. My father, you cannot buy this, you can't buy that. My mom said, why not? Why not? And I've been hearing it all the time. It kind of has accumulated with me so much that eventually I became the product. But I don't blame my parents. Both of them are doing it for right reason. For a right reason. However, I kind of built that habit inside me. When somebody using a credit card, I became very nervous. When my wife was swiping this, my wife bought all these wonderful things. Our kids need it, I need it. Then she pulled out this credit card and she swiped it. I was like, the credit card. What about the debit card? What about, do I have money in the bank account? And after parking lot, I was just like, why did you use that credit card to buy all this stuff? And she's like, you didn't trust me? You don't trust me? Yeah, but you want to use cash card instead of credit card. So this became always a fight. I don't know if you can relate with me. And this is one of the hardest things for me to overcome because it became me. I get nervous when people stop buying things. It's a natural reaction to how I grew up. And I'm hearing the fighting over and over again. So realizing is very important. What caused me to feel this way? It had nothing to do with my wife. She does it because she feels it's so important for kids and for us. And she manages so well that I learned I better not even mention one thing about the credit card. I decided not to for 1 year ago, and then our fight was from a 100% to down to 25% today. It's like a 75% reduction of fight. Just because I realized that building up your measure, but we're gonna have a meeting. Thank you for the financial education school. We've been going through the financial. My wife and I together we studied at the home actually watching this video. Financial education has been provided by Insert and Naomi and the San Juan, and we've been studying together. It taught us a lot. And I never even mentioned one thing about credit card, but we will meet together once every 2 months. And she will share her plan how to pay off all the debts. I will determine not to mention one, but I say, it's great. It's wonderful. It's great. That's it. Great. Let's meet again 2 months later. All right. Wonderful plan. You are the financial genius, Lisa. And she is. But she is actually quite a genius. I'm sorry, how long has it been now? I'm sorry, I just wanted to share one more thing, and I just wanted to show the video to conclude it. Kathy and Thomas. Kathy and Thomas. Kathy and Thomas. Thomas has been growing up in a household where mother will always tell me to clean up your room, clean up your room, clean up your mess, clean up your stuff or socks on the floor, clean up. Every single day he's been told to clean up. Why you don't clean up? You're very disorganized. You're a pretty messy person, Tom. You have to clean up. And almost regularly he's been told, all right, man. At the beginning he was saying, okay, sure, we'll do it. But eventually as he grown up, always Tom was still telling me, why always leave a mess in your room? Why? Why you keep all the mess? Why you leave all your socks and all the stuff everywhere? You have to clean up. Yes, ma'am. No, I don't want it. I hate it. I don't like to hear from him anymore. I am the person. I have my own rights. Whenever I feel like I want to clean up, I can clean up. Mom, I can clean up, all right? I can clean up. Don't remind me that I should clean up. Thomas and Kathy was married. They are driving along the beautiful beach. Beautiful sunny day, traveling along the highway. 2 kids are smiling, giggling, playing together. Thomas and Kathy was very happy, smiling at each other. Driving on to the beach for a beautiful vacation on the weekend. They decided to stop by at the service area. And then Kathy decided to take this trash out from this little teeny trash can placed right behind the Thomas. She pulled this trash can out and about to throw those trash. And Thomas looked at it. Stop it! Don't do it. Kathy was shocked. What's wrong with you? You think I'm a messy? You think I'm a disorganized? Why are you throwing this trash? I can do it. You think I cannot do it? Kathy was shocked. No, I'm just simply wanting to throw this trash away, honey. It's because of how he grew up. It is out of a mother's love. Yes, telling a son or children to keep your room clean. Yes, it's natural. But it's backfired ultimately. To the marriage that Thomas trying to create backfired. I mean, we as a parents did it out of a good intention. However, backfiring our children's relationship. With that, I just want to conclude with a video that I just showed you. And the doctor, Dr. Bear's, it's his video. It's a very interesting video. It's a good video. I like it. So I just want to conclude it. And then, if you can have after this video, I just don't want to just leave it as it is. But I would like to split up a different group and a discussion for 20 minutes, if you may. So let's take a look at this video right now. Ready? It's a 6-minute long, so and after that we're just going to finish it.
In question 6, I said that the real reason for the anger in our lives is a lack of real love. When we don't have enough of the one element essential to our happiness, we're in constant pain. And in that condition, we respond badly, often with anger to the slightest provocations. When we understand that, we can respond much more productively to angry people. When people get mad, we tend to take it personally, don't we? I come into the room and with an angry tone and facial expression, I say to you, I'm sick and tired of you leaving your socks on the floor. We've all seen where this usually goes, haven't we? Understandably, you'll feel like I'm attacking you, because I am. And one way to defend yourself is to attack me in return. So, you snap back at me with something brilliant like, oh right, and this from the guy who always leaves the milk out of the fridge. Now what? We exchange snippy little comments back and forth until the conversation is hopelessly bitter and entangled. Nobody wins, everybody's unhappy, and now we'll avoid each other at least until tomorrow. And we've done this kind of thing hundreds of times before, because we don't understand what's really happening. All over the world, people are repeating these kinds of foolish and destructive conversations because they don't understand what they're doing. But with an understanding of real love, you do. You know that when people are angry at you, they're really saying, without realizing it, I feel empty and alone. What I really need, and I don't know it, is to feel accepted. When you can look at an angry person and see that, literally miraculous solutions become apparent instantly. So let's do that scene again that we did just a moment ago. But this time, instead of me coming into the room, it will be someone in your life that you sometimes do have conflicts with. Picture that person in your mind right now. I don't know if it's a he or a she, so I'll cheat and just use the term they. They come into the room and with an angry tone and facial expression say to you, I am sick and tired of you leaving your socks on the floor. But you see, this time, you're not going to be fooled. No, you're way too smart for that. You're not going to make this about you and get offended. You're not going to be tricked just because they said that they're sick and tired of you leaving your socks on the floor. Just because they used the word you twice isn't going to trick you into thinking that this conversation is about you, right? No, you're going to remember that angry people invariably feel empty and unloved. So, what does this angry person in front of you need? Love. Right. And love right now. So, what does that look like? How do you love an angry person? While they're angry and screaming at you about socks, is this the time to give them a dozen roses? No, that's not what they need. Or a kiss on the cheek? No, the problem is this. They're angry because of a lifetime of not feeling loved. And every time you leave your socks on the floor, it's just one more reminder to them that people don't care about them. Like we talked about in question 6. They're badly sunburned. And when you leave your socks on the floor, it's like you reach out and pat their sunburn. By itself, it really isn't a big deal. But with the sunburn, it's enough to just push them right over the edge. It's about their not feeling loved, not about the time it would take for them to pick up a pair of socks, which would be, what, 2 seconds? Because you're a genius, you know that it's really about real love. So you say to that angry person, Fred or
Wilma, or whoever, you're right about those socks. I leave them on the floor all the time. And it's not just socks. I often leave my shorts and my shoes there too. And you've asked me to turn the light off, and I leave the bathroom too, but I don't do that either. In many ways, I do things that show you that I'm not thinking about you. I've been selfish. And I'm going to think about that. I can't tell you that I won't do it again. I'm way too flawed for that. But I am going to be thinking about it. I'm going to pick up the socks now, and in a week, I'd like to come to you and ask whether I'm doing better overall at paying attention to the things that matter to me. Would that be all right? Now, how do you think that person will be feeling about now? You didn't defend yourself. You told the truth about yourself. You admitted you were selfish. You really listened. And you offered a plan for following up on your progress at dealing with your selfishness. Each one of those acts is extraordinarily loving. By comparison, giving someone flowers and candy is nothing. I mean it. Responding to anger with anger yields only more anger. Responding to blood with blood yields only a larger bloodbath. The only genuine solution to anger is love. This is not a theory. I've seen it work enough 1,000 times in a row to know this for a fact. I look forward to having you with us at reallove.com, where you will be given a vast array of tools with which you can eliminate, not manage or control, but eliminate your anger. And that alone will revolutionize your life.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I guess I'd just like to open this up, and if you could use those tables here and split up on perhaps 4 different, let's see, 4 different groups of people that we're going to use 4 different round tables to have a 20 minutes discussions together based on the topics we have today and whatever. It's really up to you, but whatever you like to discuss a little bit related to topics from today. And if you can find somebody that, whatever it is, let's split it up on 4 different tables. That is,